Hi everyone, welcome back to the second video of my series about how I'm converting my video game into a book series. I wanted to go into a little bit of detail about how the magic system works, the unique technology mechanics that I have in my book. It's somewhat grounded in real theories, but also it's also tied in with music theory, and because I when I was younger I went to a music college and I find music theory interesting, and so I wanted to kind of bridge those two things together in the science and magic in my book. So essentially the main magic source is the main energy source in the universe is called 0 point energy, and that's a real world theory where basically even in like the coldest vacuum of space, when particles stop moving, they still have a natural kind of jiggle to them because of their like quantum properties or things like that, and that energy that they create whilst not moving but still jiggling is called 0 point energy. And so the theory goes is that if you can collect that energy, because everything in the universe has this natural kind of jiggle, you have an infinite source of energy. But it's pretty much impossible currently to harness that technology. So how they've come around that in my world, the setting for my world is like the atomic era of the 1960s. Like never ended. It kind of carried on evolving into the modern day and into the future, and so it has this kind of retro futuristic setting, and so it's all very cassette futurism and big clunky consoles and stuff, and how they collect this 0 point energy is with a device that they created called a torus drive. And a torus drive is a big kind of monument, kind of a lighthouse looking pillar device that is in a ship's engineering room. And the way it works is that there are two spinning rings in the middle of this device, and the first ring spins and creates this kind of harmonic field, and that filters out kind of lots of noisy subatomic particles, leaving an empty void in the center. So kind of like a vacuum bubble that is held together by a unique frequency. And so in this vacuum bubble is filled with just those naturally occurring tiny fluctuations in energy, which is the 0 point energy. And then there is a second ring which reacts to these fluctuations in this vacuum bubble, causing it to spin in the opposite direction. And that spinning is what, powers generators. And basically you collect that 0 point energy through this second ring, and it stores it into... it goes to two places. Primarily it goes to the ship's batteries and powers, conventional propulsion and ship's lights and, basic life support and all the kind of stuff you'd expect to see in on a starship. And where it gets interesting is that the 0 point energy that is collected also is what allows the starships to enter slipstreams, which is my take on it's not faster than light, but it is pretty fast. So we can't go to the speed of light. But in my universe, they enter slipstreams to travel the vast distances of space in shorter times. And the way they enter these slipstreams is, some of this collected 0 point energy goes off into the batteries, and then when they need to activate a slipstream, they kind of flip the switch, and then that energy starts going to the ship's hull panels. And the hull panels are, they surround the entire ship, but they have the ability to emit their own vibrations. And so they can change the spatial attunement is what we're calling it, of the ship, so that it can every region of space in my universe has a naturally occurring frequency. Like every person, every living thing, every area of space has its own resonant frequency that is unique to it. And so if you're, you know, a ship in the Sol system and you want to travel through the Sol system, you have to you can travel conventionally, just, you know, rocket booster type thing. Or if you want to enter a slipstream to travel faster through it, you have to change the frequency of your ship and the vibrations of your ship to enter a slipstream. And if you think of it like the solar system is filled with water, you're creating a slipstream, which is like you following like the trail of a dolphin. So you kind of glide through that water, except it's not water, it's frequencies in space. So you enter this slipstream, and that allows you to travel very fast and very far by doing that. And you can get close to matching the frequency of that area of space, but you can never quite match it, because everything has its own frequency. And so you can't exactly match it, but the closer you can get to it, the faster you can go. So that was how humans were able to travel out, meet new species in the world, in the universe. And when they they met these other member races, and they founded this federation type thing called Atlas, basically like my version of the Federation from Star Trek. And then from the setting of the story, 20 years prior, they discovered a mineral, these rocks called, they call them Z cells. And these rocks, they're like geodes. They have like crystals and things poking out of them. And the crystals themselves produce this naturally occurring frequency. And they discovered that when they put it near a torus drive, it can actually more closely chip into the like a radio antenna. It can it can improve the efficiency of the collection of the ZPE. So they were able to like double the efficiency of the drive, so putting these rocks near them, these geodes. So then every ship was fitted with a chamber that they can put Z cells into, which doubles the efficiency of the ZPE collection, which means that when they switch and they try to enter a slipstream, they can more closely match the slipstream frequency that they're trying to reach. And so they were able to go, you know, twice as fast if they needed to. So they could go farther for cheaper fuel expenditure, essentially. And yeah, that is basically the science of the slipstreams, and how they can achieve not faster than light travel, but how they can traverse the vast distances of the galaxy and the universe without needing to go to the speed of light. And that's basically the magic system, as you know, it's called in writing circles. But yeah, I'll go into more stuff about more of the technology, more of the world. I think the setting it in a kind of retro-futuristic thing was pretty cool and unique. But yeah, really interested to hear if anybody has any thoughts on this system, or how it can be improved, or, you know, it is something that I made up, but it was somewhat grounded in real theoried science. But yeah, really interested to hear what you guys think. I'll catch you next time.